Want me to stick around for that?
One of the many exciting things about joining Live was being able to come here and play in front of a Spanish crowd, especially on a level of event and level of competition that I hadn't really yet enjoyed, right? I've been able to play events in Spain.
Here in the beautiful Valderrama, which some say is the European Augusta. It's so special. There's so much history here. There's so much Spanish history here.
Well, it has so much history behind. It's only a 50-year-old club, but so much has happened through the years. I mean, we had the Ryder Cup, we had World Gold Championships, and now we have Live.
1, 2, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like when there's this wind in this golf course is so difficult that it's equally stressful no matter when or where you're playing it. But it was fun. It's always fun to be back home and be with the home crowd. It's always a joy to have this many people supporting me all day. It's so much fun.
OMG, what did we just witness? Our first ever double playoff in Live Golf history. I am so pumped up right now.
So much happened on the last 5 minutes. I mean, it looked like it was going to the Crushers and Annie Barton winning, and all of a sudden then Abraham holding a chip, David Puig birdie Nate, then that little putt from Annie Barton on the last. I mean, it was great watching.
You know, it's really amazing to be able to do it in your home country, in front of my family, in front of so many friends, and on my favorite golf course. So it's obviously super nice.
Ferrall has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's Ferrall on events coast to coast in the biggest way possible. Hanging out the bad seed, broken in a bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake-it-up, shadoobie, along with the great Carver High this afternoon. Mafia running it along with Luke, I Am Your Father. It's C2C on a Thirsty Thursday. The rundown, a double shot with Gabe Morency from Vancouver, like you read about. Kyle Irving from the Sporting News talking Team USA rack, getting ready to open it up on Sunday against Serbia in the Olympics. Also, Jalen Thompson, he covers the Royals for the Kansas City Star. We'll talk to him later. And Adam Kaplan, our NFL insider, I think he might actually be at the Eagles camp today, starting his summer trek around the NFL camps from East Coast to West Coast. Kaplan is everywhere. Carver High, what a blown game. And then they have the lead again. The Orioles had a 6-0 lead in Miami, 6-3 in the ninth. Marlins scored 3 in the ninth. And then in the 10th, the Orioles get a run in on a single, but the second guy that was on second tried to score and was thrown out at the plate. The guy that hit the single to right tried to go for 2, and he was thrown out at second. So it was a run and then a double play to end the inning, and it's 7-6 O's, and the Marlins have the runner at second, but 2 outs. So the Orioles need to close this game out and get out of Dodge.
Yeah, we've got a couple of interesting things going on with our afternoon baseball right now. You just broke down the Marlins and the Orioles, which, of course, are down to their last out after coming all the way back from 6-0 down and 6-3 in the ninth. We'll see if they can get this done here. That was a pretty close play at first base, by the way, on that last one. The other developing story is that Dylan Cease of the Padres has allowed no hits through 7. Down in D.C. against the Nationals. So He just finished off that bottom of the 7th inning. Cease has allowed no hits, 7 innings, no hits, no runs, 3 walks, 8 Ks. There was just a man on second base. That was a walk, which then advanced over. So Dylan Cease 6 outs away, Scotty, from potentially an afternoon no-hitter.
I bet on him.
Baseball.
I bet on him this morning on a run line. So up 3, I need him to close the book on it. I don't really care one way or the other about his no-hitter. If he gets it, great, fantastic, way to go. But what I really need is them to win by 2 runs. And I bet on the Padres. They have turned into a fun team to watch for the rest of the way based on where they are for the wild card and how they've been winning. And what are they going to sweep this series in D.C., right?
Yeah. They're looking like it right now with the way that he's going. Gordon's up for the Marlins right now. The guy just threw a wild pitch and he advanced over to third. But still, it's going to take a hit to get him home here.
It's
from
game
Gordon.
over.
Game over now. So there you go. 7-6.
I struck out with a guy at third. Fail.
Can't have that. That's a fail. The Tigers lead Cleveland 3-0 on a 3-run homer by Javi Baez. Remember him? Only his second home run of the year. Guardians do have a man on second now here with 2 outs, and they're in the bottom of the second in Arlington, where the White Sox and the Rangers are finishing off their series. I think it's been weeks, Scotty, since the White Sox won a game. I'm not even kidding around. It's been weeks, so we'll see if they can get one this afternoon.
10 in a row.
10 in a row for the White
They're
Sox.
literally 50 games under 500. 50 games under 500. I mean, it is all over but the shouting for the Chicago White Sox this season. I mean, they can't get to October fast enough. Like, they just want it to end. What a nightmare. And they have to be selling everything at the deadline, don't they?
Yeah, it's funny. You know, I saw a story this morning, of course, Crockett, Zach, don't call me Davy Crockett, about him maybe getting traded. And he apparently has said that he won't pitch in October unless he gets an extension from somebody. Like, this guy's like
saw that.
All the terms now here. He's like, you're not taking me out. I'm going to pitch all the way through September. I know my arm. I know when I need to pitch. I'm not pitching in October if you trade for me and you don't give me an extension. Wow, that's one way to avoid
we call him Davy Crockett, but did you see your boy Nightingale? He calls him Crochet. So I'm certain that we're butchering his name.
We're absolutely butchering his name, but we've done this now all year with the Davy Crockett Act, and I'm not going to stop it.
We're not changing now.
So we're not changing anything. It is what it is. We signed up for it, and we're going to continue to do it.
Isn't crochet? Is that like knitting?
Something like that, yes. I believe so. We have 2 other games this afternoon. It's mostly day ball today, only 2 night games. Rays and the Jays starting right now in Toronto. The Basset Hound is going today against Taj Bradley. This was, as I last saw right before they started, a pick'em, Scotty, at -110 both ways with a 7.5 total.
Yeah, so last night I heard the ESPN crew say that, I think it was Coney saying that the Mets should go get Basset Hound and bring him back to Queens. And then I immediately bet against him today with Tampa based on how he's been pitching lately. He's been getting lit up. So, he's got a name and all the rest, and he's already done a stint with the Mets. But, at the end of the day, is he really that good? I mean, honestly, like, he's hit a wall right now for them. He's beatable.
Yeah, I'm not interested in the Basset Hound, to be quite honest with you, for anybody. He just doesn't excite me anymore. The other game that's going to start in about an hour is the end of a 4-gamer between the Dodgers and the Giants out in Los Angeles. Of course, the Giants did win last night, beating Glasnow, and they got a nice return from Robbie Ray. Logan Webb and Clayton Kershaw this afternoon will get things going. -130 for the Dodgers, plus $110 for the Giants, and an 8.5 in this one.
Clayton Kershaw's season debut tonight at a day game at Chavez Ravine. So obviously he's looked good in his tune-ups. after shoulder surgery. And I'm a believer, as you know, in Logan Spiderweb does his damage at Oracle, not on the road. I'm going to go Kershaw and the Dodgers again because last night was the first time they've lost in a while. I was surprised they lost, and I was actually surprised and wrong about how good Robbie Ray looked after Tommy John surgery. He came out and went 5 innings of like massive problems for the Dodgers. They couldn't figure him out at all. So I got burned on that one yesterday, but I'm going to go back to Kershaw today.
Back to Kershaw this afternoon. So there you go. We got a lot of day ball going on. We also have the opening round of the 3M Open up in Minneapolis, where the one and only Jacob Bridgman, who 8 under for him, he's in the clubhouse, has the lead there in the Twin Cities. Mackenzie Hughes is right there. Mr. Rogers' neighborhood, Patrick Rogers, Martin Trena involved, Kevin Streelman, Sahith Tagala, Gary Woodland, and Taylor Pendrith all also. Stuart Sink at 5 under and 3 back.
You remember yesterday, your boy Keith Stewart said that Sink was a buy, a top 40 buy at big numbers. What was it?
Numbers.
What was the 3-1, 4-1?
I think he was around plus 280 or plus 300 for a top 40. Yeah, he was a really nice number, and Singh's come out very strong from there. So we have that. Women's soccer, USA starting the Olympics this afternoon as well.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Next up is Tampa, who was very impressive last year with Baker Mayfield, Evans. They hooked up a ton, and they've already shown what they can do, but they're picking this team, the Falcons, over them. Explain that to me.
Baker Mayfield's back. Mike Evans is back. Where a couple years ago, you really wondered if he finished his career as a Buck, but the Bucks wanted him to do that, and he's going to do that. He signed a 2-year deal for about $21 million a year.
Ferrall Coast to Coast, only on SportsGrid.
They scored well. They defended like crap. Last game, they struggled to score. They defended great. We still have not seen the best out of USA basketball. So they showed they've won different ways. They still should win absolutely the gold medal. But they're playing with fire a little bit.
Oh, what's up? You watching the game? Or maybe the one later? Put a little BetMGM action on it, and now any game becomes the game. When you got overs and unders, you're in it every time they throw the ball, kick the ball, dribble the ball. Maybe it's not even a ball.
Who needs a ball?
Now that bet's got you watching every inning, half, round, period, set, hole, a lap. Right from the edge of your seat. Hit him with the promo.
All right, back on C2C as I'm watching this USA women's soccer game against Zambia in the Olympics in Paris. And Morency joins us. You can catch Sports Rage every night at 10 East on all of our outlets, everything on the TV side, TV stations, streaming networks, you name it, we're on it. And you can watch live on X now as well, SportsGrid-Live on X at SportsGrid TV. And obviously, he's on radio as well everywhere. Mightier 1090 ESPN in San Diego. Coming out of Mexico, the Big Stick from Baja to the Canadian Rockies all over the West Coast at night. 1090 Styling, Sports Byline USA, and all their affiliates out of San Francisco, plus satellite radio, Sirius XM, channel 159. Check it out. He's also on C2C every day, a double shot. Morency, good to see you. I want to start with this question. Your props for the basketball that starts Saturday. And, of course, on this side, the USA starts Sunday, I believe, against Serbia.
Yeah, that's exactly right. It's go time. The Olympics have begun, and we've got USA action going on right now as we speak, taking on Zambia in women's soccer. And I tell you what, Zambia actually finished in third place in the African Nations Cup, and they're actually pretty good. They've got a couple of pro players, so a little bit of a trap, but still scoreless in this match. But the Olympics have begun. We're off and running. We have the opening ceremony tomorrow, but the events, a lot of events have begun. We've got handball going on right now. We got rugby sevens elimination stage already going on as we speak right now. Women's soccer going on as we speak, but men's basketball, baby, everybody's been talking about it. And in America, for the pro sport fan, basketball is the sport everyone knows the most, right? It's basically all NBA players. So this is what everybody's been looking forward to. And pretty much every sports book has this as well. So you could bet top score in the basketball tournament in the Olympics, who you think is going to be the highest score, highest points per game average. But what I did, Scott, they have per team. Who's going to be the highest score per team? And I put together a pretty interesting parlay here that I don't want to say can't lose, but it looks
USA
very
scored.
good. Oh, there we go, baby. There we go. 1-0.
So,
USA.
go ahead. Sorry.
All right, so let's start off, Scott, with a guy. I don't know if you're a big fan of this player or not. I've always thought he's been really good, and I think when he gets minutes, he shows it with the Los Angeles Lakers, and that's Rui Hachimura. You know, the Washington Wizards are the kings of drafting players and giving up on them after 2 years. Like, he's still raw. He's still young. Hachimura can ball, bro. And Hachimura is on Team Japan. And he's the go-to guy, Scott. Dude, the guy scored 29 points the other night. All right, he dropped 19 points, 29 against Serbia. Hachimura is the real deal. When he's the man in international ball, it's sort of like Dennis Schroeder. He gets superpowers when he puts a German jersey on. So Hachimura will be the leading scorer on Team Japan. All right, point blank. He's going to be their leading scorer. He's their star player. They're going to give him the ball all the time. And as I stated, he's been lighting it up in the
Who's that other guy?
games.
Watanabe's on that team. He played with the Nets. He's another one that scores a lot. He's gonna play.
Former Raptor.
He's gonna play in Japan this year, not the NBA.
Yeah, he's going to be taking some threes for Team Japan. But I like Hachimura a lot in this spot, Scott. I'm going to get the odds up, but I'll ask you, because the United States one is a little bit of a trickier one. Honestly, LeBron's been the best player. You and I talked about it. I stayed away from the U.S. because they have a couple of guys that it could be, right? Steph Curry's actually the favorite, Scott, to be to have the most points on USA. Are you willing to buy that? That Steph Curry will be the Team USA leading scorer?
I mean, it's certainly possible the way he shoots. And, I mean, it could be Tatum. I mean, I'm with you. Like, LeBron's played fantastic for them, and he could be the guy. Who are the highest odds on USA? Curry?
Steph Curry.
Who?
Steph Curry's plus 250. Anthony Edwards is plus 350. Listen, Anthony Edwards is great. And he talks a lot, and he might be a big future superstar. He's not the man on this team, all right? Let's just call it out for what it is. And you saw in the tune-up games, guys, the younger players panic. They don't want the ball. They were all like, hey, LeBron, you take it. You take it. That's why LeBron has the ball at the end. Nobody else wanted it, all right? So LeBron is plus 450 to be the leading scorer on USA. Steph Curry plus 250. Anthony Edwards plus 350. LeBron plus 450. Durant. I don't even know if Durant is playing. Durant is 7-1. Anthony. Yeah. Well, he's upset that Windhorst said he's probably not going to play on Sunday, but Kevin Durant's always upset about something, Scott.
Yeah, I don't care what that guy says. Like he's not involved. He's a reporter. He's not coaching.
Oh,
he's not on the team.
He would know.
The reality
he's
is
very
this.
credible, Scott.
That's great. That's great. He's not coaching anything. Okay, so
Kevin
here's
Durant
the deal.
hasn't played, Scott. He hasn't played in the.
I understand that, but if you just listen to me, he has played 2 days in a row, full practice, and they asked him flush if he could play. He said if we played tomorrow, he'd play. So if he'd play tomorrow, why wouldn't he play Sunday? His calf is
but they don't even need him. They don't even need him. That's the whole point. Like, he hasn't played, and now you're going to insert him into this lineup now, even though he hasn't played in any of these exhibition games with them? It's kind of like, it's not an ideal situation. Put it this way, Scott. I hope Canada wins the gold medal. I'm not losing sleep over Kevin Durant being the one that beats us. I'll put it that way.
Listen, that may very well be the case, but I think that this is his 4th Olympics, and the guy can certainly fill it up. I don't like when he puts the ball on the deck, but I like when he goes up and shoots. He can shoot. He can score, but I don't like anything else about his game. I don't like his handle, putting it on the deck. I don't think he D's anymore, but when he gets that spot and finds his space, no one can stop him. He scores.
There's players that are better than him on Team USA.
He's not the bet. He's not the bet for the most points.
No.
Issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal.
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. And the guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
There's another one. There's another goal by the U.S., and that's 2-zip on, what do they call? Who are they playing? Zambia. Anyway, let's get back to the basketball. There's
United
no
States were
denying.
20-1 favorites.
Yeah, I've never heard of them. Anyway, so the the fact of the matter is that
Ferrall's in a bad mood today. You really hate the world.
I'm not. Listen, if I'm in a bad mood, I'll let you know. And you'll generally, you've seen me in a bad mood. I can't believe you, of all people, that knows me the best, that like
I should
on
say
a Sunday, you've seen
you're
me
full
in a
of
bad
more
mood.
spite. You're full of more spite today.
I'm not even angry, let alone mad. My point is this: is that I don't think Durant. Every year he takes a 2-month vacation in the NBA season with his leg problems and his calf problems. I don't think he's. I don't worry about him anymore either. Like, I never worry about him on the Suns. I never worried about him on the Nets because he never played. He was always injured. But the reality is...
No, that was my point. He's not a key to the team. That was my point. No, he's still a good player.
He can stick it.
He can shoot. He's a great shooter. We know that. And he's one thing with Durant, and let's give credit to Durant. He never really got credit for that. The U.S. basketball team are in a no-win situation all the time, right? If they lose, then they're the biggest losers in the world. If they win, they were supposed to win. And we see this. And Durant didn't get credit. Durant saved the United States' ass last time. Like, he was the one that carried them. So, listen, he's one of my favorite players, Scott, of all time. I'm a big KD fan. But I'm just being realistic. At this stage, my point was, it doesn't matter if he plays or not. They're so loaded anyway. So, like, this whole, whether he's going to play or not stuff, like, whatever.
Let me ask you
they're
this.
going to integrate him into the starting lineup, but he hasn't played it all, which I don't. And listen, Kerr's getting it from everyone. No one likes Kerr's lineup.
Well, listen, Kerr is. I'll say this: the one thing I heard him say today that I caught on to was that he said that he's disappointed because he thinks that they have 2 other levels and that they've been playing on like level 3, like that they've got 2 other stairs they can climb with their game, and that they just haven't, gone with effort. He says he's not seeing guys come off the floor breathing heavy and sweating, and with their burn. Let's say he goes 6 minutes with a 5, and then because he's been going 5-5, that's how his rotation has worked. And that he said they're just not going to levels that they can attain. And he said if they're not willing to go to those levels, then we're going to have problems. And that's the reality. He thinks they're showing nothing compared to what they're capable of.
It is they were exhibition games. They were showcase games. So, it's a glass half full, glass half empty. Are these red flags that these games are so close coming into, when it gets real? I'll tell you what, the U.S. are in a pretty soft group. Okay, let's call it out for what it is. You get South Sudan, you get Puerto Rico, and you got Serbia. So Serbia is the test. You got Jokic, you got Bogdanovic, you've got Jovic. You've got some guys on this team. And speaking of being able to stick it, Scott, the Serbs can shoot, bro. Right? So Jokic's going to be setting these guys up. They're going to be popping threes. The international line is a little bit closer. Yeah. So I'm willing to take the 14.5 points. But, Kerr is right. You're right. If the U.S. dial it up to like, as, level 5, no one's going to be able to keep up with it because they're just so deep. But I left the U.S., Scott, because of our look. We got into a debate about it. And when you look at Team USA, I don't want to mess with who their leading scorer is going to be. But I will tell you what, Curry's going to get 1 million shots. But my parlay is Rui Hachimura. He's the guy. Boom, point blank. They're giving him the ball. You score. Victor Wembanyama. He's got Rudy Gobert on the team. Rudy's not really, Rudy's going to give you 14, 15, maybe 16 in international. Evan Fournier's going to be passing the ball. Batum's going to be hitting some shots. But
Wemby's going to get all the buckets.
It's built around Wemby. The thing is, Wemby passes a lot, but it's built around Wemby, and don't tell me he's not going to drop 22, 24 a night in this stuff, right? So, and then we get to Canada. Canada's pretty deep, but the offense runs through SGA, bro, point blank. So there's the parlay, Scott, and it's a nice plus money as well. So we're talking like plus 140, plus one. It was like plus 160 actually.
I think
the three of them parlay together.
I agree with you on those as well. I think SGA is going to have the ball the most, and he's going to score the most because that's what he does. The only one that could even come close would be, I think, Murray. But I think it is.
He's the
SGA's
favorite, Scott,
world.
to be the leading scorer out of all teams.
Tomorrow, I want to talk about Jim Harbaugh with you. Don't forget, all right? Have a great show tonight, Fritz.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercado, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. The guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
So Kyle Irving is with the Sporting News, and he's got a much better life than us because he's in Lipstick City, living large in Santa Monica, styling, and he left that wretched, smelly city of Boston to go to Los Angeles, and he left all of his fandom with his family back home so that he could form new relationships with not only West Coast women, but West Coast teams. And he's covering the USA Basketball Olympics with us, and all of the tournament games are going to be fantastic. Kyle, good to see you. I want to say we were talking earlier about Durant's calf, right? And the argument was that he won't play Sunday against Serbia. And then I wasn't arguing about whether he would play. I could give a rat's ass if he plays or not. I've been around Kevin in Brooklyn forever, and you know what he was in Brooklyn was always sitting with his bad calves and never playing. So that's what I remember, the guy that never played and never won. So that's what we got here in New York, that version of Katie. I will say I have like 12 pairs of his shoes. I like his shoes. Anyway, so my argument was that he's played 2 straight scrimmages, 2 straight full practices. He's been on the floor. I just saw him dunking and running reverse dunks. And like, you know, afterwards I heard it right out of his mouth. If the game were tomorrow, I could play, no problem. But I want to see how I feel here after this second scrimmage. And why would they not play him if he's capable of playing? What are they, saving him for what? Saving him for what? Like, do you think he'll go if he's okay to go?
Load management, even taking over the Olympics. It's incredible. But no, I mean, if he's ready to go and he believes he's ready to go, I don't know why he wouldn't go. It's not like this is a player who, you know, let's say it was Joel Embiid who was out with an injury, and you have to change so much of what you do if Joel Embiid is all of a sudden the guy that you're implementing in your lineup. I don't think it's that hard to implement Kevin Durant into this lineup. I mean, the guy can score from anywhere on the floor, but he's also a solid passer and playmaker. So it's not like they'd have to make catastrophic changes to what they've been doing with that first unit if he were to slot into the first unit. And honestly, because he hasn't played yet in the first 5 games, it wouldn't surprise me if they decide to bring him off the bench. So Kerr's going to have to tinker with the lineups a little bit. But to me, if he's ready to go, he has to be able to go for Team USA. I don't know what they would be saving him for. They have their toughest matchup in their entire group right off the bat against Serbia, against Nikola Jokic, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Nikola Jovic. You know, this is a deep team, one of the teams that, in my opinion, has one of the best chances to knock off Team USA and have a potential chance to win gold. So they're going to need Kevin Durant if he's available to go. And whether that's the first unit, second unit, like you said, he's been, scrimmaging. He went through live scrimmages today. We saw him getting shots up after practice with Curry and Booker. He looks good. I don't know what they would be waiting for to just deploy him and say, go out there and we need you right now because this is our biggest game of the group stage.
Right. Do you remember when they had the game against Germany and nobody wanted the pill at the end except LeBron? He's like, just all right, give me the ball. And then he's like knocking down a 3. Then he had the and 1 and he's like, and showing his muscles, like, I'll take this thing over myself. If I don't believe for a minute that Curry's afraid to shoot the last shot. But I'll tell you another guy who's not afraid to shoot. I mean, he shoots from bed while he's sleeping is Durant. I mean, Durant, he's done this in the Olympics before, carried the USA team. If they need, guys, the young guys are afraid to shoot. I've been hearing that. Well, Durant's not afraid to shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the biggest thing is that they're putting the ball in the hands of LeBron James right now because he is willing to be that alpha dog. And there's so many different alpha dogs on this team, but when there's 4 future Hall of Famers on the floor and the game gets tight, they're giving the ball to the 39-year-old and getting out of the way. So LeBron is still going to be that guy, in my opinion. But what I think is unique about that situation is that LeBron always talks about it over and over and over again. He's going to make the right play at the end of games. That doesn't necessarily mean force up a bad shot or a step back or a fadeaway or something like that if that's not the shot that's available. He's going to drive, he's going to draw 3 bodies, and he's going to be able to kick out to whether it's Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry. So just because the ball's in his hands doesn't necessarily mean that it has to be downhill to the rim for a layup the way that it was against South Sudan, the way that it was, against Serbia in the group stage. But I do feel, Germany, not Serbia. But I do feel like Kevin Durant is another player who, to your point, if a team loads the box and decides to try and stop LeBron, Durant's a player that he can just give the ball and then everybody can get out of the way too. It just depends on how healthy he is. So Durant, the all-time leading scorer in USA basketball history, to me is a great 1B to LeBron's 1A if LeBron is going to be that alpha dog for Team USA.
So do you think that, because I want to look at the other side of this thing. You talked about Jovic and Bogey, and we already know what the Joker's capable of. I got to tell you, though, I'm not afraid of Jovic. I think he's an up-and-coming player in the NBA. I think he's decent. I think when I saw him play with the Heat, he's relatively sloppy sometimes with his shots. I'm not afraid of this guy in the Olympics. I am afraid of Joker, and even Bogey. I firmly believe that it's the old Gino Auriemma. Everyone's a great shooter until someone's in their face. Okay, so I do not believe that old man can light up the USA if they just defend him and stick someone in his face. I don't think he's going off. The one they got to worry about is Joker. That's the guy, because he'll make everyone else look good, even if they suck. And he's going to get his. But if they defend these other guys that they have on Serbia, it shouldn't be a problem. I mean, this to me is about speeding up their offense, move the ball quicker, and actually play some oniony defense, have some stones and play defense, and that's how you win.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the second unit has brought. That's where, there's all these calls for Anthony Davis to slot into the starting lineup over Joel Embiid. But in my opinion, and I felt that way after the first couple of games, because honestly, I think through and through, Anthony Davis was Team USA's best player through the 5 exhibition games. But
I agree.
I kind of shifted my stance because Bam and AD have sent away any drives, any shot attempts in the paint. They have been a brick wall back there. So to mix that up, I don't think Steve Kerr should break that second unit up. They are playing lockdown defense. Tatum can defend. Anthony Edwards can defend. In that last game, he actually subbed out Tyrese Halliburton and gave Derek White his minutes, and Derek White can defend. So that's a second unit that you're talking about having the stones to lock in and play some defense. That's a second unit that can do that. And then if Kevin Durant ends up in the starting lineup, and let's say Drew Holiday happens to go to that second unit, We're talking about a team that is going to lock down anybody that any other country can put on
automatic.
So you talk about Bogdanovic, like he's a scary scorer, but he's not an unstoppable scorer. And Jokic is obviously the player that they have to worry about. But I really like how they defended him in the exhibition game, where they would have AD guard him straight up and then have Bam Adebayo help side anytime that Jokic tried to, play bully ball. And with those two guys, those are two of the best interior defenders in the NBA. And then sometimes they would switch off. They would have Bam play him straight up and have AD help off, and same deal. So, that's a second unit that if they really need to dig in and get a stop, that's the front court that I'm putting out there. It doesn't – Joel Embiid, great offensive talent. He's struggling to find his role on this team. But those two in the front court together, that is Team USA's key to victory, in my opinion.
Respectfully, I got about 45 seconds. How well do you think Tatum can play in this Olympics after what he just did to win the first ring for himself? I thought he was phenomenal carrying the Celtics. I thought Brown was as well, but he's not on this team.
Yeah, I think Jason Tatum is someone who that actually was kind of it led into what his role is going to be with Team USA. He's going to be asked to defend. He's going to be asked to play make. He's not going to get 20 shots a game the way that he does with the Celtics, but there are going to be some games that he's going to have to get a little bit more aggressive on the offensive end. He was the player that closed out that gold medal match against in Tokyo in 2020 against France. So he's going to have those moments offensively, but look for him to be a solid defender and a playmaker for this team.
I can't wait to read your stuff during the Olympics and the sporting news, Kyle. Great having you on Coast to Coast today. Enjoy all the games that start this weekend. I can't wait.
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play in it. But it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. And the guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
So I got to tell you about the BetMGM First Bet 1500 because it's so incredible, and it's really 4 easy steps to make it happen for you. 1, download the BetMGM app on iOS or Android, or go to BetMGM.com. 2, open your account, put $10 in it, and you're rolling. 3, place your first wager and receive up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if the bet loses. It's like a free bet, man. You can bet $1,500 on whatever you want, and if it loses 4, they're going to put the bonus bets in your account once the initial wager is settled. So you get it. If you make a bet up to $1,500 and you lose the bet once it's settled, they're putting $1,500 in bonus bet money in your account, and you are rock star status. You are off and rolling. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep them doggies rolling. Rawhide, wind and rain and weather. Hell bent for leather. Wishing my gal was by my side. All the things I'm missing. Good love, hugging, kissing. Be waiting at the end of the line. Roll them in, roll them in, rawhide. Roll them in, rawhide. Woo, roll them in, roll. Sorry about that, Carbohydrate. Sometimes with the BetMGM 1500, I just lose my mind.
It does happen. Don't blame me. It can do that to people. There's no doubt about that. A few things here. As you quickly mentioned before, Cease did finish off the no-hitter for the Padres.
What?
Second no-hitter in Padres history. Second no-hitter in the Bigs this season. Of course, the other one was Blanco back on April the 1st for the Astros. So Cease...
and what was the other Padres? Wasn't it Musgrove?
That was Musgrove in 2021 against the Rangers. They showed before. So that was the first one in franchise history. So now they have 2.
And he was from San Diego, your boy Musgrove.
Yes, he was. So congrats to Dylan Cease. Quite the accomplishment this afternoon down in Washington,
Free soft serve ice cream for everybody.
Yes, why not? The Tigers beat the Guardians 3-0. That's a final now as well. Rangers lead the White Sox 2-1. And the Rays got a Brandon Lau homer off of the Basset Hound early on. So they're up 1-0 in the bottom of the second up in Toronto. Giants and Dodgers start momentarily there in Chavez Ravine. The return of Clayton Kershaw making his first start of the season. All right, not much to go over from last night, but obviously we have to go over this Met-Yankee game. As the Mets finish off their sweep of the Yankees this year, they beat them all 4 times. In fact, they smashed them pretty much all 4 times as well. 12-3 last night. Francisco Lindor putting the icing on the cake. His second home run of the game on ESPN put it far out of reach.
Swing and a drive, left center field. Francisco flushes the game with a 3-run shot. They lead it 11-2 on Lindor's second of the night, and he's got 5 RBI.
Oh, my.
I mean, he is something else. And you wonder why every time we do taters and you put up an Alonso or anyone else, like you had Vieto last night, right? And he hit one, and that rang the bell. That was big money. What did that pay us? You tell me. And then the second thing is, every time you mention the Mets, I put Lindor in there for a home run. He's got 21 now, had 5 RBIs. He's brilliant in the field. So not only do they have more bats, they got more defense, they got more pitching, they got a better manager than the Yankees do. I am so sick and tired of hearing this guy Aaron Boone's excuses and his he said last night, he said, we're this close. You must be tripping, bro. You lost by 9 runs. You got obliterated. Garrett Cole it's like he's pitching softball. It's like I'm watching him throw underhanded at the men's beer league. Honestly, bombs. He's giving up bombs. Did you see that? What was it? The other guy, Taylor, that he turned on that one to left field? Oh my God. Oh my God.
The Mets outscored the Yankees 36-14 in those 4 games this season. They scored, they scored 8 runs a game, almost 10 runs a game against them.
Steinbrenner is turning in his grave. He would have fired him already.
I agree, especially when you look at a number like that, them giving up 36 runs in 4 games to him. That is just absolutely
You know what
pathetic.
the funny thing is? Remember when he said last night, quote unquote, let's just get real. He said, we're pissed off, end quote.
Well,
here's the reality is that they aren't. You know why? Because he doesn't do anything to these players. They're on easy street.
Oh, it's country club.
This guy talks them up like they're murderers row. And meanwhile, no one on that, they got two guys that can hit. The rest of the team's filled with bums that can't hit, and that's all there is to it. And he tries to sell how great they are and how close they are, and they're this close to winning and turning it around. We can play with anybody. And no, they can't. And the reality is that when you are not accountable, when you don't have to answer to anyone because the guy's such a cream puff to his players, like, can you imagine Joe Torre, honestly, doing that, treating these players like they never can do anything wrong? That's why they're pissed off. No, they're not. They're not accountable for anything. They go day to day. They're all like, Judge is out there. Now, listen, Judge is the best player on the team. He's out there giving out cleats, bats, taking pictures before the game. He's the whole franchise. Everyone else does nothing. They do nothing at all. I'll give you this. Soto puts up numbers. There you go. That's it. The only two guys.
I could do without the big memorabilia swap pregame with Brunson and Milrow when they're losing. I could do without it. I don't need to know all about it. Win some games. When we come back, you'll get both sides of Boone. You see, Boone did his usual routine first when he got into the interview room, which was, we're going to be okay. Everything's going to work. And the press, for once, which they rarely do, pushed him a little bit, so he became tough guy Aaron Boone, which he likes to break out every once in a while. Act like a tough guy to the media. So we'll do this when we come back.
No one's
Are there any grave issues that would keep Team USA from winning a gold medal?
Should they be minus 430 against the field or whatever the price is right now? Maybe. But am I looking at, hey, Europe as a continent to win the Olympics at plus 500 as an interesting bet? Yeah, because one, they have 5 teams in the Olympics out of the 12.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
Where are you at in terms of a starting lineup? What you want to see from Team USA?
I think he'll get guys involved, and then there's your lockdown defender at the point guard, the point of attack, right? I do like Curry. I would then go with Ant. I like Ant over Booker. I think if you look at the way the Canada game was, they looked kind of slow starting, and then they kind of got rolling.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
He talked about Major League Baseball and its rule, or actually its relationship with sports betting and gambling.
Integrity is the foremost concern, and a lot of people are questioning that given all the scandals, right? There's Mercano, there's Pat Hoberg, one of the best umpires in MLB, suspended right now. We don't exactly know what he did, but he's been disciplined, and he hasn't umpired a game this year.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
If this wind, like we have out of the Northwest, was here all week, it would be insane watching these guys play. And it's going to be a southwest wind, which makes it a little easier as far as the direction of the wind. And the guys will have it a little bit of a break on the back nine. But it is such a fun golf course, one that I really do think tests every single aspect of your game.
Only on SportsGrid.
By the way, it's 3-0 Rays now, and I got them. I told you I bet on the Padres today, and I bet on the Rays today, and I need more runs in that. I also played a total in the Texas game, and I'm very leery of it at 3. I think I need 8. But give me this Aaron Boone stuff. I can't wait for that first.
1 second first, as Rosarena just took one on the helmet from the Bassett Hound. Look out as the ball flew out of there. That was a tough scene. And Rosarena looks like he's okay. He's giving the thumbs up to Bassett, so nothing bad there. And secondly, Padre manager Mike Schilt said that he was planning on taking Cease out of the game after 94 pitches today, and Cease talked him out of it. Thank God. It's about time one of these pitchers did that, because we see it way too often that these guys get taken out of no-hitters at 7 innings, 8 innings. Good job by Cease, and I guess we could say good job by Schilt by listening to him and actually letting him go out there and finish the job. So congratulations to him. Here we go. Aaron Boone. Here's the beginning of it, where they're asking him about the morale of the team, the psyche, as they're getting smashed in the 8th and 9th inning last night with home run balls just leaving every other batter. And he felt good about the team in the dugout. Here's Boone.
Yeah, I mean, even one of the things I really liked tonight about is how hooked up we were in that dugout in the 8th and 9th inning when it wasn't going well. And the level of at-bats and not giving in even in the end. And the guys on the top step, like, pulling for one of another as they take a tough pitch or put a good swing on a ball. You know,
this guy's such
what?
I was pleased to see that. Like, you know, we're hooked up. We want to make it happen. We're all frustrated, but I'm not worried about the compete level with these guys.
You should be.
They just suck. They just suck. I'm not worried about the compete level either, I guess. They're just not that good. That's pretty much what it comes down to. So he gets pushed a little bit about how they have the second worst record in baseball since like the middle of June. Only the White Sox have been worse from them. And
the worst pitching. And the worst pitching in all of baseball.
And then he flips into tough guy Aaron Boone. Here we go.
We got to play better, okay? We have it right in front of us. We're a really good team that has played of late. We need to be better. I'm not going to define stretch this or that. We got to go win, right? And we're right there. You know, we're watching, you know, other teams struggle around us.
What?
We know we got to be better. Okay?
They were down 9 runs.
We're pissed off in there. We got a lot of pride in there. We have a lot of expectation in there. So stretch, slump, recent, I don't give a It's we got to play better the rest of the way. And it's right there. I've said it's right in front of us.
It's right there in front of us.
It's right in front of us.
It's not.
Right? For as bad as it's been, we're also in a great position. And we got to go play.
Okay.
We got to go play the baseball the way we're capable of playing. And it's on all of us, starting with me in that room, to make sure we're coming out with the right level of energy and getting after it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
You know, I'm sick of hearing about it. Listen, what I want to see is the reality is this. They're up by 3.5 in the top wild card spot, right? Fair enough. And, you know, I'll give you that, right? So that's fine. But the reality is this. They're 2 back of the Orioles, which is nothing in the East. Fair enough. I'll give you that. But when you have the worst record and the worst pitching over the last 2 months in baseball, in 2 months, that's like 60 days of baseball and a lot of games. It's literally a stretch of some 50 games. They have been the worst record and the worst pitching in baseball. Now, I don't care who you are and how much power you have and Cashman and how I love this guy, but the reality is it's on me. What it should be is he should be fired. The reality is they should have got rid of him last year when they did the same thing where they just failed every day for months. He talks about it's right there. When you're down 9 runs and you've been outscored in a 4-game Subway Series, George would have fired him. But the reality is now they lose and they're outscored 36-14. You're right there. Your mother is right there. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear we're right there. It's right in front of us. What I want to see is them collapse even further and lose the wild card too, and then see if that wussy-ass owner of theirs finally has the stones to get rid of his hack-ass manager, because that's what he is. And you know what I would have done? I would have been on the phone yesterday trying to stop that Red Sox deal with Cora and signing a deal with him under the table.